Hello, everybody. I don't know if I'm live, but I will start. So, hi, everyone. Welcome back for another live with the IBD Hub. I'm Giulia De Mauro, and today we are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And today is a special day because it's the last episode before the end of the year. So I thought that today I would make it a little bit shorter than usual, but I say that, but you never know, I might make it an hour again. But I wanted to start with thanking every single one of you that has given me so much strength. So if you're here, please let me know. I see that iDesign joined on Instagram. I see that many of you are on LinkedIn as well. So I wanted to tell you a little bit more about how my 2020 has happened. So for any of you that knew me prior to these lives and this podcast, my company and I were traveling a lot prior to COVID, and we were going to see we were doing consultancies to help architects and engineers to start their company abroad. So that involved a lot of traveling and a lot of visiting clients face to face and so on. And all of a sudden, all of this stopped in March. In March was also the time of the MIPIM, which is the biggest real estate event in the world, which we were all expecting with enthusiasm. We also had to visit several companies that were really important to us and sign a contract that we really cared about. And all of a sudden in March, everything happened and everything shut down. And we found ourselves in a situation where it was extremely difficult for us to advise our clients on how to evolve internationally, where to find the projects and where the investment would be made in the future in real estate and architecture. So I'm going to be honest with you, it has been probably like one of the worst moments for us. Also we needed time to reevaluate everything, and we kind of realized like, okay, we're trying to help people to innovate and being international and stuff, but we actually are not able to do anything online, and her business her business model doesn't really work in case of such a crisis. So we kind of had to shift everything around and go digital like I am today. And instead of, only advising companies to go abroad, we have focused more on business development consultancy and advising through coaching architects and engineers that do want to start a new business. And that actually, it was great that COVID happened for us, because especially for me personally, I feel so much closer to people, and I feel like I can change so many things for individuals that it gives me much more joy than just doing it for companies themselves. And the feedback that we got for this change was amazing. So I would like to thank every one of you who has emailed me or messaged me through LinkedIn or Instagram. It gave me so much strength to start this. It's not perfect yet. Like, we're all making mistakes and we're all learning throughout, and it has not been super easy. But I think things happen for a reason. And if we didn't get this push, probably we would have never got there. So that's the first thing that I wanted to do. And now I would like to reflect a little bit on 2021, which for a lot of people has been an inquiry when I talk to you guys. Like, a lot of people say, is it the right time to start a company? How can I reach out to clients and so on? And these questions we have answered previously in episode 12. So I'm not going to go in detail into this again. But what I would like to tell you is that, yeah, things will never go back to the same before, but we have to have this mindset of how can we change things and innovate in order to move forward and adapt to the situation. So for the ones that are really starting their business now, it's a great time to do this, because we're gonna need architects and designers and engineers who are able to rethink how we use housing, how we use shops, how we use offices, and so on. So there's going to be a bit of a break, because so many investors didn't know how to position themselves in the right way during these months. So there will be a gap where there will not be a lot of projects, because decisions haven't simply been made. But that gives you some time frame of around 6 months to really prepare yourself to start your new architecture or engineering business. And once you prepare this for these 6 months, that's when the project will start again, and you will be the first ones in line to apply for these projects and find these clients. So that's why it's super important, actually, to prepare from January onwards, let's say up to June or July, and then go out there. And the months of November and December next year are going to be key to the projects that will be upcoming. So that, for me, it's really a positive thing. For those who already have companies, it's good to use these 6 months to reflect on how to get clients in a more digital way, and maybe in a more international way as well, because COVID actually allowed us to open doors to many other countries and building many other contacts. So that's really something that is priceless. Now we feel like closer than ever to anybody else. Today I had calls from Mexico to Dubai and to Australia, which is completely crazy in one day. It's like I went around the world in one day, you know? So that's why it's so important, again, to think forward and really try to find inspiration to how you can develop your own company and startup, and how you can change a little bit of the world in a good way, right? A lot of you have expressed their frustration working in a company where they didn't feel completely fulfilled. So really the first step when you start thinking about your business is for sure to think about your values, your personal values. So what you really believe in, whether that's collaboration, whether it's authenticity, whether it is beauty, and so on. Really try to pinpoint 5 of your values that can be reflected in your personal life, but also as a show-off of your design, and that reflect also within your team. Also try to pinpoint the purpose that you want to achieve with your life in general, because I think that's very important to pinpoint that to start your new business. I had a coaching yesterday with a woman that is a great architect. She has a great experience, and the way that we were talking about business, the traditional way of doing design and architecture was not something that was fulfilling for her. So we started thinking about other ways to make her feel accomplished. So the values and the purpose are key to the concept of your company. The second thing is the customer problem. So what problem are you really going to solve for your client, and how are you going to go about it in your very special way to resolve it? And finally, why are you the best person to solve it for him? So those are three key things to think about, because most architects, unfortunately, they think about explaining the design, the references, and so on. But very often we think in terms of details. We think about technical things, which clients are not necessarily familiar with. So it is better to try to explain what problem do you solve for him in a very simple way, and explain how you're going to go about it to solve it. Also showing steps. So what happens once I hire the architect or the engineer? What are the steps that I have to go through in order to finish the building and be able to use it? So try to, once you have your purpose, to try to pinpoint really what is the customer's problem and how you're going to solve it, and why you are the best person to do that job. So that can be your experience, that can be the years that you spent in different companies or projects that you solved this problem in prior to starting your own company. So those are like all the credentials that will give you a push, especially when you start and you don't have references. Then the third point is about pinpointing what kind of projects would you like. If you had all the money, all the budget, and no matter the client or whatever, what would be the perfect project that you're aiming for? And from that, you can then assess who would be your perfect client. And then you can research who that would be, which developers that can be, which private clients, it can be which municipality it can be, and usually there would have to be people that believe in your values. So if it's sustainability, if it's quality of space, they would have to have these priorities on their list. Otherwise, it is not much use. You would end up getting a client that is not necessarily someone you want to work with for 5 years, right? So it is so important to try to picture the perfect project and the perfect client, and then to try to understand where you can find them. Which channels do they use? Is it online magazines? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? And so on. Try to really understand on which channel these people are, so you can be visible in these medias. So Jonas has asked me also another question about, especially about this, about how to advertise on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to answer to this, since we're talking about where to find your perfect clients. So in my opinion, for architecture, the important thing to do is to use Instagram and Facebook as a little bit of a mood board for your clients. It needs to show the ambiance of your architecture or images. It needs to show the quality of your design. It needs to show the values that you stand for. And so it has to be really a mood board where they can read you through and really want to be part of this and have this in their house or in their building. So use it really, the images needs to be like a mood board. There can be some quotes in it if you want to explain what you stand for or what kind of problem you have tried to solve with your design. But don't just post references for the sake of posting references. Try to pinpoint a problem that you solved in that project and that was challenging for you, and how you went about it to solve it. Because when they will scroll through, they don't see just a pretty image. They will see a problem that you solved, and they might relate and contact you directly. For the ones who really have a little bit of money and want to try Facebook and Instagram ads, please do try it. But my advice to you is to create a downloadable. So a downloadable guide that your clients can download through the advertisement. This downloadable is a PDF where you give value to your client for free. So for instance, 5 steps to make your interior design great. Or I don't know, 10 steps to know if you hire the right architects. You know, it has to give them value so that they reach out and download it. Through this download, they will have to submit an email address and a phone number. And from that, then you can call these leads or email them straight away and propose your services. So this is a good way to approach them indirectly, and you will see a lot of people will download it, and you will have the opportunity to, you know, really target them at that point. So try to look into Facebook and Instagram ads. We are launching in January a whole course about how to use digital tools to get to your clients, whether it's on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. So please stay tuned for that, because it's going to be so interesting and so important. And we spent so many hours building this course, especially since, actually it has been since June that we're doing this. And we've been doing this with Amin Siala, who is the business development manager for Google. So it is really a great course. Can't wait for it to be completely out. We're still editing some things. So stay on the lookout for that in January for sure. And then, okay, so find a perfect client and perfect project. Then you can find the channels, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It's up to you to really find where you can, where is better to be visible. In my opinion, a lot of leads come from LinkedIn. So of course, it depends on the services you're providing, but a lot of them come from LinkedIn. So the more you can make articles about a problem or an issue you have solved, if you want to really showcase your expertise through posts, showcase your expertise. Don't just show pretty pictures of your projects, because people will scroll through it and say, oh, it's really nice, but they will not take you seriously. So that's really my my advice to you for this. Then so Jonas, because Jonas is asking me, for architects and interior design, is it good to do some is it good to do some project management? Sure, go ahead, like try to integrate that as much as possible. But in order to find clients for project management, I would suggest LinkedIn rather than Instagram. Sorry, my dog is making noise. So finally, after you have kind of tailored the perfect project and the perfect client, then we are moving into a business development and marketing strategy. And that's really like understanding that's really understanding how you will go about it to find your clients and to do the marketing strategy. So that will differ on which projects you're trying to get and which niche you're trying to be recognized for. But always try to focus on where to find clients that are right for you. A lot of people invest a lot of money in marketing, a lot of money in business development, but they don't target the right people. So they waste so much time on leads that will never trigger any project or any opportunity. The best way to reach out for projects is to create partnerships. And I can't stress this enough. It's always about partnering up with an architect or an engineer or an interior designer and tell them, like, look, if we partner up, if I see a project coming up, or if you can introduce me to one of your current clients, then we can make a project together. So it's really about creating relationships and building a network that already has clients and that will be more than happy to introduce you to them indirectly. Because when you get introduced by someone to a client, it's always better than if you were directly targeting them. So for sure, that is important. On LinkedIn, just one tip, guys, because I see this every day on LinkedIn, which is people just sending a whole email with everything: CV, portfolio, website, renders. I've seen everything. These messages, unfortunately, will not trigger you a sale. And the reason why I'm saying this is that most people are in front of their laptop every day now because they are working online, and most of them will be connected to LinkedIn and will receive about 2 or 3 of these emails a day on LinkedIn. And if you give them everything, they're never gonna ask you for anything at all because they have everything. If so it's about teasing them. Like, how do you hook them to trigger a Zoom call or a phone call and so on? The idea is to email them, look at their page, look at what they have achieved, and try to tailor your message about that. Like saying, okay, I've seen your beautiful project on LinkedIn. I'm really interested to know more, and I would love to be able to discuss a potential collaboration on a project. This works for 3D visualizers, interior designers, architects, engineers, anybody, because you take them as a relationship email, like building a relationship. I'm interested in you. I want to know more. Let's collaborate and trigger a call. If the guy has everything, your passion, your experience, your CV, your portfolio, your website, he has nothing. Why would he call you? He has everything already. So try to be more pertinent when it comes to this, because we forget this so much. And we get so many emails, and this is not a pitch. A pitch, if you want to really make a pitch, you need to concentrate on the customer's problem and how do you solve it. A pitch is not, I have like 10 years experience and blah, 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 and I worked with this person and this person. No one cares. Sorry, no one cares. The client wants to feel like he's the first person you talk about, and he doesn't care about your story life. No, the only credentials you have to give is once you tell him what problem you can solve for him and why you're the best person to do that job. That's it. All the rest, he couldn't care less otherwise. Sorry to be harsh, but I see it too often and I can't, it has to be said. So finally, to conclude this last live of 2020, I wanted to announce to you that we are doing a program called the Scale Up program. So any architect or engineers or interior designers who is about to start their company or has their company already but wants to get more clients, we are making a program starting the first week of January. And it's a one-to-one coaching online. So we only take 10 people because this is all we can do for now. But it's a program, so it lasts 8 weeks. It's an 8-week program, and you need to apply for it. We will have a 30-minute call to discuss what your goals are for 2021. And then I will let you know if you're selected in one of those 10 positions that there is. And the idea is to help you in 8 weeks to go from your starting point to generate projects, have a business development and marketing strategy that works, and give you a plan of action for the whole year so you manage to achieve your goals for 2021. So if you feel like this is you, just DM me on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube directly, and I will send you the link for the interview. And if you are selected by tomorrow midnight and you purchase the course, I will give you 20% off. So this is literally the last offer we are making before the end of the year, and you will be able to start with us the program on the 1st of January. So if you think that you're the right person, contact me directly. I'll be more than happy to hear your story and know if you are eligible for this program. And finally, I wanted to close this call with some books inspiration. I know that I was supposed to do it a long time ago. I didn't have time, but I wanted to advise a couple of books for people who want to open their mind a little bit to entrepreneurship and to business, and also pitching, selling, etc. So the first one that I advise is from the CEO of Minds Valley, Vishen Lakhiani. And the book is called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, which is a great book because it helps you think out of the box. So I really recommend it. The second one is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, which probably most of you have read already. And it's a fictional story, but it really represents the entrepreneurship journey. So I would advise anyone to read it. It's quite short, so easy to read. And then I have two more: How to Win Friends and Influence People. And this is about collaboration, building relationships, and a network. So that's also very important. And then finally, there is one that for me was the best one that I read in 2020. And it was Sell It Like Serhant from Ryan Serhant. And Ryan Serhant is one of the #1 real estate broker in New York. And through this book, he explains how to sell services to your clients and how to pitch and how to organize your day. And I think, even though it's from the real estate perspective, it has opened my mind up completely to entrepreneurship and how to sell things and stuff. So I would really, really advise it for anyone. So yeah, that's it for today. Again, thank you so much for participating and be here every week, showing so much love and positive vibes. It really helps. It really makes us confident on what we're doing here. And I really hope that we can impact more and more people every day. So yeah, just thank you so much for this year. It has been great, and I'm so looking forward to helping more people next year. And I'm really excited to show the new products that we will be launching, online courses and more coaching and so on. So thank you very much, and I see you next year.